Hi, this is Parker with my bread fermentation video. Um, I made a voiceover with my bread as an image, so there's not actually anything happening on the screen besides just an image of bread. Um, Now the process of fermentation is actually done by the yeast from the starter. Um, when the yeast does fermentation, it takes sugar and makes carbon dioxide and waste. And when the carbon dioxide is made, because it is a gas, it cements itself inside the bread because the dough traps the carbon dioxide in the bread. This is why the process of making bread takes so long and requires so much waiting. It's because the yeast needs to create carbon dioxide for the bread to rise. The reason that the starter needs so much time is because of the yeast as well. The starter's purpose is to gather yeast for the process of fermentation because there needs to be as much yeast as possible to bring as much fermentation as possible for the bread to rise. The starter creates such a large pool of yeast so that there is enough for the bread to rise during the baking process. Now, how the process of fermentation in bread compares to fermentation in cellular respiration comes in the waste, because both processes produce carbon dioxide, whereas when humans produce carbon dioxide, they just expel it from their body because it's basically useless to them. They don't need it anymore. Um, However, in bread, carbon dioxide is actually extremely essential to make the bread rise, as said earlier. Um, um, so yeah, they actually have a use for the carbon dioxide that they're making, whereas humans, the fermentation doesn't actually, the carbon dioxide doesn't actually help them at all. So that's the difference between fermentation in humans and in bread. Now, the last thing I have to talk about is the reason that bread is sour, and that comes from the lactic acid. Lactic acid is produced as a waste product from fermentation, and it gives the bread a sour taste. So the production of lactic acid is the way that sourdough bread gets its is sour because yeah, I guess it all just circles back to fermentation because everything is um the fermentation produces the lactic acid. Yeah, so fermentation is basically everything. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Um, Thanks for listening, and go make some bread. It's fun. Bye.